started to think about this idea for the play because I had done an earlier play in October. It was called The Hidden Hero. So it was about Dido, which is one of the women in the play. So I had this theme of women in mythological stories in my head for a very long time. I started thinking about other women from other mythological stories that I could focus on. So these 5 women characters really stood out to me, and there was something that was linking all of them together in terms of how their characters in a way aren't given justice and how they're very important characters but they're sort of lost in the bigger scheme of the stories that they belong to. And there are a lot of other versions of these characters and of these women that people don't know.
The fact that you have a story and there's a side to like one entire aspect of a story that no one has ever heard about is what made her angry. So more than anger, it's also like she's kind of questioning herself and she's also kind of explaining, showing the rest of the world as like one side of the truth that no one really bothered to find out.
I remained faithful. Despite the fact that suitors came for me left and right, I found things to do with my time that weren't other men.
The good thing and the cool thing about this show is that even when you're not in rehearsal, you have to think about the show bit and about the characters because it is a very important story. It's about these women who've been sidelined throughout history by the men. So I wrote this sort of rant about Penelope and how she was Odysseus' Penelope, and everyone remembered her as Penelope from the Odyssey and not as a woman, the powerful, very smart woman that she was. It's amazing how we've all just come together with these stories that we knew nothing about and we've connected all of them. It's like history has wronged these women again and again, and finding this common thread between them and putting it together in the form of a show, I mean, I think it's amazing.
I didn't exactly have to get out of character to become Brunhilde. I am already quite like headfast, quite strong when it comes to my actual life, and as a girl myself, I think it was a really good idea to do a play based on the injustice women face.
My idea was that in heaven there's this Dead Mistress Motel, and the fact that these mistresses are dead and no one really cares about them anymore. And on the other side there's the heroic hotel where all the male heroes of these stories live on, and everyone sort of worships them in heaven.
It became that Negi was the old veteran who'd been here for God knows how long, 500 plus years, and I was the newbie who just walked in, who had no liking towards women, and was all up in historical heroic men. And that's how the story built up. We became the connective tissue between all the women and their stories and the setting, basically.
It is in fact our characters which really move the play ahead and bring out the stories of these women. Give some context to what these women have to say. It's more a question of really taking their side by the end of the play. And throughout the play, the entire aspect of how I've changed and how my mindset about these women have changed, that really comes out in the play.
Just that I think it's very important to do this show, and I think it's definitely helped me in the sense that now when I hear a story, I know not to take it at face value because very often there's more to the characters in the story.
7 people who put together a show that would take that, honestly, a giant crew that had lights and cameras and everything would be proud to put up.
For the first time I had to take a lot of decisions for myself and for my cast, and it was a really interesting experience directing my own original play, and I just hope we can take it even further.
I was a silent partner, I know the part